Welcome to another episode of Man to Man podcast. Today's episode is Follow Your Path and Listen to Your Soul. Now, there is a quiet, sometimes loud, but often ignored voice inside of us. Inside of you, me, all of us. Call it your soul, your gut, your truth, whatever you want to call it. But it's there. Most of us spend years drowning it out with anything we can find, really. Any sort of distractions. Phones, booze, bad habits, cheap dopamine. Why? Because facing the truth, that shit's uncomfortable. Now, this episode is all about reclaiming that internal compass that often goes amiss or off path from time to time. We're all guilty of it. Some of us do it more than others. Some of us are better adjusted to realigning it when it does. But regardless, it's all about learning to sit in silence, hearing the whispers of your purpose, and following the path that was always meant for you in some way, shape or form, even if it terrifies you. If you've ever felt lost, unsure, or scared to face what's inside, then this episode might just be for you. Now, the soul knows more, or the soul knows before the mind, I guess. How many times have you had that feeling inside of you that knows what you're meant to do, but we ignore it, we suppress it, do anything to drown it out? Pick up the phone, scroll, watch TV, crank some music on, need to get my headphones in. Every time I've ignored it, I've ended up lost, frustrated, unsure, and in a sense it kind of lacks or strips away any sense of identity because you're not aligning with what's going on deep down inside. So there's disparity of who you see yourself as and the actions that you're doing. They just don't align. So then that knocks out your identity or sense of identity. So what if you actually trusted that voice and took action? Let's look at distraction as a crutch. Now, you don't need more noise. You need more stillness. Because every time you avoid, you silence yourself. And every time you face those thoughts head on, though it might not be comfortable, it's what your soul needs. It's what you need. It's what everyone around you needs. It's what society needs. It's what the world needs. Because the more men that are on their path, the more people in general that are on that path, but this is a podcast for men, the more that are on the path and the more that sits with that uncomfortable moments where you are meant to listen to that deep down soul of yours. The more that we do it, the better we get at it. The more men that do get better at it, the better society is. So we need to sit with that stillness. I used to drown that voice out, and I say used to, I still do. We all do to some degree. Sometimes I listen. Sometimes I ignore. And I've got better at noticing when I'm doing it, but fuck yeah, I still do it. Not through wanting, partly through habit. There's no shouldn't, I'll gladly admit, well, not gladly, but I'll admit, I'll be truthful in that I use social media too much. I browse through it incessantly to try and drown out the noise. So I am guilty as well. But the times when I don't do that, shit gets real. I realise what needs to be done. I realise what are those uncomfortable things that I've been avoiding. Decisions, situations, important movements, I guess. And they have to be faced at some point. But the more we put them off, the more, like I said before, the more we become disaligned with who we are and then our identity. We put our own identity into question with ourselves. Facing the truth sometimes can feel like hell. And not because you've faced it, because A, you was running from it all that time. And B, sometimes it means making decisions that you've been secretly putting off for a long, long time. Hard decisions, maybe. And by running from it, you're just giving yourself a slow death. Proverbially, of course. Sometimes, actually. Because that avoidance leads to a path which, sadly, too many men take. We avoid the stillness because clarity comes with responsibility. That clarity becomes with having to face the situation at hand, the problems that you're facing, the scenarios that you've created for yourselves. Sometimes knowing what to do means facing what you've been avoiding for years. And like I mentioned, that can be twice as hurtful because you've wasted all that time. You've built up this new identity. When it's not really you. So you've avoided it for years. And then comes the hard decision. Do I face the reality that of those decisions that I needed to take and I need to take and enter the unknown? Or do I keep in this place that's slowly killing me, slowly destroying me? We've all done it at some point. Some of us do it for a lot longer. And some of us do it for that long that it just ends up disastrous. Let's just say that. You don't need everyone to understand your journey. But you need to understand it. It's not for other people. This is for you. You know your path. You know yourself. And by the more that you don't avoid that time sitting with yourself, sitting with your thoughts, you build up more of an identity of yourself. You become more sure of yourself, which makes decisions easier, which makes life more enjoyable. Which makes those who you care for much happier. Because you're more fulfilled. You have more clarity. You can make better decisions. You know where you're going. No one can infringe on your boundaries because you know what they are, what you stand for. You don't need everyone to understand your journey, but you need to understand it. You need to embrace it. You need to be at one with it. And when you walk in your truth, whilst the world might not clap, you will. Your soul will. You'll have a sense of pride that no fucker can take away. And that is what it means to be a king. It's not ruling of others, it's ruling of yourself. Of that battle within. That army of thoughts that plague us sometimes. That's the army we need to conquer. And we can. By just not avoiding those thoughts. Not shutting them away. Not suppressing them. Sit with them. Face them. No matter how dark, no matter how loud they get. Face them. And move away from crutches to courage. Every time you choose silence over the stimulation, you're one step closer to who you want to be, who you need to be. You're that little bit more sure of yourself. You're that little bit more confident because you've not gone against your word. You've faced that moment, that part of your soul that you know you needed to, but you didn't want to, but you still fucking faced it anyway. That's how courage is built. Those tiny battles accumulate over time. Replacing distractions with reflection gives birth to courage that no fucker can take away. Your soul doesn't shout. Sometimes whispers, sometimes screams to be heard. But only the brave listen. Only the brave face it. We've all got that capability. We're all the same in the sense that any of us can do it. The fact that some people do it and some people don't is not anything to do with can't. It's about refusing to. But that can change any time. And that changes with you. Building up those tiny wins. Even if it's just for 2 minutes one day, and then 3 minutes the next, and then 4. Discipline is built over time. Motivation is bollocks. Discipline is where it's at. And more habit than discipline. Habit, routine. So at some point, if you're listening to this earlier on in the day, some point today, your soul will scream out to you. And you'll try to avoid it by filling it with noise. Choose to listen. Choose to give it the space. And face it. Face it like a man. Hear what it has to say to you. And then speak. Then take action. You know exactly what to do. But sometimes we just get lost on this path. Life beats us down. But no matter what, you can get back up, fella. We've all got that capability in us. I fucking believe in you. I need you to believe in yourself. So, like I say, some point today or some point tomorrow, depending on when you're listening to this, your soul will speak to you. Don't ignore it. And with that, I'll leave it there. Thank you for listening to the Man to Man podcast. Until next time.